Hello and welcome to the Life Writing Show. I'm your host, Chris Jones. Matthew Hess of Rizzo to Go joins me in this spotlight conversation. How's it going, Matt?
Hey, I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Hey, pretty good, man. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. There's a lot of information that I wanted to get to around obviously your business, but there's a couple things, some elements around mental health that we had a brief discussion about that I like to kind of delve into just top level as well. Okay.
Sure, sure.
So first and foremost, let's start by you telling us, just sharing a little bit about yourself. Who is Matt?
So I grew up in New Jersey. Wound up moving upstate New York with a friend of mine, going to culinary school up there. After kind of bouncing around, wasn't really sure what exactly I wanted to do. Started working in a restaurant, and that was really what helped push me towards culinary school. Um, After that, I wound up, like I said, working in a couple different restaurants, kind of getting all different kinds of experience from like quick service up to I worked with a celebrity chef most recently. So yeah, I just learned as much as I could and used everything to start my own thing about 2 years ago now.
I want to go ahead and pose a question around like how did your interest of food, where did that come from and to become a chef? What does that part look like?
Yeah, I am. So I grew up with like a big Italian family, and all of our family get-togethers were centered around food, and um, it's just what we did. Like my grandma taught me so much about it, what I still use today. My mom, we used to like my mom and my sisters and I, we would cook all the time. So it just was like really just like growing up, like food was like a love language. Like it was like it's just what yeah, it's what we did. We ate.
I love all types of food for one. But I will tell you, seafood is has always been at the top of my list.
Mm-hmm.
Italian food has always been near the top of my list. I want to ask you this too, Matt. Like real quickly, like what is your favorite like Italian uh personally? What is your favorite Italian food and what is your favorite Italian dish to make?
Um, so just one specific. I think when I was in Italy, Italians have it's a pork roast. It's called porchetta. So they
Yeah.
butterfly the pork roast. They rub it with garlic and herbs, roll it back up, and then they wrap the skin back around it and let it cure for a couple days, and then they roast it, and it's just this like tender, like melt in your mouth pork roast,
Oh
and
yeah.
you get it on like little stands on the streets of Italy. That it's literally just a roll, a slice of pork, no condiments, nothing. That's all it is. Um, and as far as my favorite Italian dish, um, yeah, I just growing up, it was my grandma would come over, my aunts, we would all like get together at one of the family houses, and it was just my grandma would make this huge pot of sauce, and it had all the meat and like sausage and pork that would just fall apart, and that's what we would just have pasta and her sauce and some kind of bread or something, and
Ooh, ooh.
yeah.
Oh, oh yeah. I had the opportunity to when I was in the military to venture through quickly venture through Italy. So I've never had a real Italian experience from a cuisine perspective. I relish that moment someday, and hopefully that'll be someday soon. What part of Italy would you suggest?
So when my wife and I we did Italy for our honeymoon, um, there's no one. You go from one region to another, and it's so different and so regional. The best thing, in my opinion, you can do.
Uh huh.
There's tour group. We went on a tour group, so we went. We started in Rome, and we did a big loop around the whole country, and we got a little bit of. We saw Venice and had Venetian food. We were in um, more of like a much more rural area. We went and had dinner at some like a local farm. We sat in their farmhouse, and they served us like family recipes, and I really feel like that was the absolute best way to experience it.
Oh man, I can
Mm-hmm.
only imagine. Oh, I can only imagine. Hey, so I need to piggyback on something. You mentioned the love language a minute ago, right?
Yeah.
So food, it food is like it's the core. It's the center. It's where we gather right around a good meal or what have you, right? And it's to me at least, it's always therapeutic for me to cook certain dishes. Hell, it's therapeutic for me to eat certain dishes, right? When it comes to mental health, and you don't have to make a correlation with food or anything or what have you, but I wanted to touch base with you about that, just to kind of get your take on, just mental health in itself and your experience. And it would be really cool if you did marry up the two, if you will. But go ahead. What's your take on that?
I definitely like mental health is very overlooked still. Like things are getting better, but there's still such a stigma around like needing help for something that can't be seen. It's not like if someone breaks their leg, it's you can do an X-ray, you see it, it's there.
Right.
Um, and they're not. You don't tell someone to just get over a broken leg, or oh, you'll feel better. Just what do But for some reason, if someone's struggling with depression, anxiety, it's kind of more, oh, are they making it up? Like what's really going on?
Hmm.
Um, so mental health it's something that's so important to talk about it, like on things like this, things that other people are going to see and more and start realizing that it is something that everyone deals with. And one of the best ways that I personally find to kind of keep my mental health in check is to have a hobby, have something that I do just for myself.
Right.
And while I do cook professionally, it's also started off as something that I just did to feel better. And it's something that you can do. Like you can look up a new recipe, or you can do something that you've done 1,000 times and is comforting, but it gets your mind off other things, gives you something to focus on. And it's hobbies are overrated. They're underrated rather. They
Right.
just getting outside, even going for a walk. You just need something to do just for yourself.
Something to do just for yourself. And it doesn't hurt when your one of your hobbies is like cooking or any
Oh
variation
yeah,
of preparing a dish. Oh,
whatever.
oh
Yeah,
man.
whatever. There's an actual tactile reward at the end of it. It definitely helps.
Yeah, yeah, just mental health in itself, just to quickly expand on it. Um, you touched on it. We all deal with it in some capacity, and the you mentioning hobbies. Oh man, um, I try to stress, um, just people getting out doing something, right? Any type of leisure activity that gives you some type of relief, right? Some type
Mhm.
of just gratitude, appreciation
Yeah,
can
I think
can be
a lot of times I think people feel that if they're not doing, I'm not working right now, I'm not making money, I'm not, like they're being lazy or not doing enough. But you can make as much money as you want if you're not taking care of yourself.
right.
What's the point?
In between cooking and chefing, and I like using the word chefing, um, to really keep your mental health in check, if you will. Is there anything that you do in particular? I was just curious.
Yeah, just try to get outdoors. I like taking my dogs for walks, going hiking when I can. Um, just being out in nature, getting the sunlight.
Mhm.
Really like helps. My wife and I we try to go camping once a year. Just really like getting back, like really like helps ground you and get back to
Oh yeah,
nature.
oh yeah. Now the camping, that's definitely I refer to it as a hobby. That's definitely one that's underrated. Then some of the
Mm.
folks I talk to, they're kind of like, well, what type of camping? Is it one that we're going to have a tent on the ground, or it's going to be that beautiful lodge. I want to get back to the Rizzo to go of things, right? Just the origin of it. Like, you mentioned your love for cooking, your grandma and others, people that you observed or what have you. But like Rizzo to go, like where did it come from? What is it?
So pre-pandemic, I was working for a celebrity chef. He had a restaurant on a country club. And so as soon as COVID hit, there was like huge layoffs because the club was closing, and I was lucky enough to get a job as a working for myself as a personal chef for a family. And that's what
Oh,
made me
okay.
realize that I never wanted to work for anyone again. Like I loved being my own boss. I loved being able to be creative. So it was just figuring out how I was going to do that. And risotto became my go-to for like if we were having company, I needed to impress someone. So I was at a point where I can make amazing risotto with my eyes closed. Um, so me and my wife were just talking one night, and arancini is they're at most like Italian places, but they're always the same thing. It's always risotto with mozzarella cheese, ground beef, some sausage. So I thought, why can't we be more creative? And one thing led to another, and now we have dozens of different varieties of arancini, from traditional Sicilian style to buffalo chicken and jalapeno popper. So
Okay. Okay. So I have to share this very quick story. Like the first time I had your food, and one of the first things I had was the mozzarella sticks, and it was just I could not get over the cheese itself, and the way you breaded it. It was perfect. The coat. Sometimes you get a lot of breading, a lot of that thick coat, and it takes away from the experience. It was yours were perfect, and
thank you, appreciate
the sauce,
that.
the marinara sauce, man. I think I mentioned to you, everyone in the establishment were looking at each other like, dude,
we
it's really
we
good.
do get
It's really good.
we do quite good feedback on our sauce.
Everything I've had, I can hardly wait to try the next dish or dishes plural. But
Definitely.
yeah, I'm ready to go, man. So I'm curious. So what's next for Rizzo to go?
Yeah, so we're just gotta keep working our way up, moving through, getting more recognition in Baltimore, and
Uh-huh.
hoping within the next year or so to be in a food truck and be a little bit more mobile, and I just keep
Okay.
going from there.
And
Yeah,
so, and correct me if I misspeak. So it's more of a pop up. Is that the right how
so
you
right
categorize it?
now, right now we're just doing a bunch of pop ups. We are
Okay.
just under our tent. We go wherever breweries, bars, farmers markets, catering, working our way towards that food truck.
Good deal. Hey, well, if it's left up to me and my crew, we're gonna do our part in helping you guys get there. Because the food is an experience, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think I speak for most folks, especially the day that I had it. We thoroughly enjoyed every piece of what we had, man.
Thank you
So,
so much.
hey, yeah, best wishes and Godspeed to you guys. And I'm gonna go ahead and close this out because I've taken up enough of your time. But Matt, I really appreciate you joining me for this spotlight.
Thank you. I love being here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And to the audience, thanks for tuning in to the Life Writing Show. Subscribe to the channel, like the videos that resonate with you, comment and share. The show is another way we creatively inform and inspire to help people write the lives they desire. Take care.